Hi, this is Godsairsofters and I'm Godsairsofters, and today we're going to be giving you a comparison and a rundown of both the A&K M60E4, which is my new personal favorite weapon, and the A&K M249 saw, which is my old personal favorite weapon. But this is going to be an unbiased opinion and facts that we're going to lay down. So you're going to have Freezer come in about 5 minutes and tell you what exactly is going on. Okay, first, magazine capacity beats the 249 by 1,100 rounds. The mag capacity on the A&K M60 is 3,500. The mag capacity on the saw is 2,400. That is a nice feature that you're not going to have with the saw because you can't need bigger mags without some ridiculous hardcore modification. One thing that is nice about the A&K M60 mag is that it has a feature called auto. When you pull the trigger on the gun, the mag, it winds when you pull the trigger regardless. So you will never have to worry about a misfeed or winding or any of that, which is something the saw doesn't have, but has something very similar called sound control, which is not good as the auto feature on the 60, but it'll still do the job, don't get me wrong. Okay, build quality. The saw was exceptional for A&K at the time. It was good. The bipod's made out of cheap crap pop metal, which is it will barely get the job done. The polymer and the plastic parts are pretty good for what you pay for. But when you move over here to the 60, it's unbelievable. This is something I would expect from VFC, maybe Classic Army. This is a complete clone of the VFC M60E4, which is remarkable. Also, the tip it comes with, the tip, is completely bent shut, so you will get a tip that isn't bent shut with yours. This is just an M4 flash hider that we have on there for the time being. So, okay, carry handles. It's good for working out with these weapons. Do this all day. Now, carry handles. The saw carry handle isn't really good enough to carry it in the heat of battle, but it will do the trick, and it's good enough. But when you move over here, again, the carry handle has got this nice rubber that says, "Hello, I'm comfortable," and it's just nicer, and it's not, you don't have to like pull back like you do with the saw to get the thing to fold down. You just simply, and it'll stay in the middle too. So it's easier to use. Sling mounts. Front sling mount on the saw is not good. The back sling mount is maybe it's trustworthy if you can see it.
Oh, that's my cue to zoom in. My bad. There we go.
It's okay. I wouldn't trust it. I would rig some like 3-point sling right here. Right there. So sling mounts, not worth it. Sling mounts on the 60 are here. This one is worth it, but I pay close attention right here in case if it starts bending, you may want to be careful. Also, the back stock you can see right here comes out right there. You can get some sort of cloth with a hook on it that you can have your sling. So sling mounts are okay for the M60. Could be better. Sights. M249 beats the crap out of the M60 for the sights. That's for a fact. They're just a lot nicer. The M60 sights look like something from World War II. But who cares? It's an M60. Barrel. This has a 500mm barrel. This has a 451. You're going to get a little more range out of your saw than you are with a 60. But that's my opinion of both of these weapons. By far, the A&K M60 is a shocker. Now, for Freezer's take on the A&K M249 and the 60. Have fun, Freezer.
Okay. Well, Delta 1, he pretty much went all over the gun. So I guess I will go all over the gun as well. What I'm going to start off comparing is the feeding trays. So here's the M249 feeding tray. You can see it's just very plain. It's nice metal. It's hard metal, and it also has this thing, and the gearbox is right in there too, and it has a spring release. And for this one, we're not sure if it's on the same for all the A&K saws, but we have to pull our charging handle back a little bit to close the feeding tray.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention, the internals in the M60 are pretty much better than the saw, because the motor is definitely something better in that one.
And for the M60, the feeding tray, you'll see, please show, you see it has this nice rail. Say you're playing Call of Duty 4, you reload your M60, you see this rail on the gun. If you reload a saw on Call of Duty 4, you're not going to see just a flat thing like this. This is a really nice, realistic touch that you would expect to see on an exact recreation weapon, recreation, or a model of the real weapon. Next up, I would say, would be the charging handle. I don't like either of them, like, really at all. Because the saw, it doesn't really sound that good. I mean, look. It sounds really plasticky. It does spring forward, though. And then on the M60, if it sprung forward, it would sound really cool, but you have to actually pull it back, and yeah. So I can't really say I prefer either or in terms of the charging handle. So I think another thing would be the complexity of the sights. I think Deltman already touched on this a little bit. The M60 sight, I don't know how to adjust this thing. Like, seriously, I have no freaking idea. If you'll please zoom in on the sight, the rear sight. You'll see it has numbers and stuff on it. It's not focusing, but whatever. It has numbers and a bunch of different dials and knobs that you have to adjust and turn. It's really confusing. And then on the saw, on the rear sights right here, you can see 2 easy knobs. This one moves the sight, moves it around. This one raises it and lowers it. Very simple, very straightforward. Now, in terms of the bipod, I'm going to have to go with this. This is the M60's bipod. It's much easier to adjust than the M249 bipod, and it's not as easy to, like, deploy and undeploy, if that's a word. Because on the saw, you simply just push the 2 legs together and fold it up. But then on the M60, you have to individually move this up and then pull the legs together. It is easier to adjust the length because you just push a little button in and then move it around, and it shifts really easily. I guess the overall quality of the weapons, I'm gonna have to go with the M60, just because it has more metal, and the plastic, I really can't find any seams on it that I can tell yet. So I'm gonna have to go with the M60 for right now.
Also, if you're going in terms of a reload, I'm gonna let Freezer finish my sentence.
Thank you. Well, it's a new sentence now. M249. I can actually speed reload the M249 to a point, because it's not really a speed reload if you don't have another magazine to do it with. But, like, really, I can pretty much do this. This thing, as I said in the review, took 3 people, almost adults, 20 minutes to figure out how to put the frickin' thing on. This is, like, easy. This isn't a problem. But then again, this is more complex because it has the battery in it, and then the M249 has a battery in the stock. So, I mean, there are some concessions that you'd have to make. So I'm still going to have to say I prefer the M60 over the saw, just because the quality of the build of the M60 is so much better. It has 2 different sets of individual markings, and it's just, they're both wonderful guns from A&K, except the M60 is more wonderful. So, this is Godsairsofters, a comparison of the 2 A&K light machine guns. Thanks for watching.